This is a quick demo of the custom light controller I built for my Arrma Felony. This light controller allows us to operate the lights using the aux channel on the transmitter. On my car, I've already got the handbrake kit installed, which is operated by the B button on the transmitter. So everything for the lights is operated by the A button on the same channel. When I press it, you will hear the servo moving slightly, but that's just operating it in the other direction. It doesn't operate the handbrake. So when we're stationary, the A button allows us to move between three different modes. First of them is with the lights off. If I press it once, I get to mode 1, which has the headlights and tail lights on. If I switch to mode 2, that brings the floodlights on as well, and also ups the brightness of the other two lights. I can press A to toggle between those two modes, and a slightly longer press turns them on off again. We've got working brake lights, so if I start the car moving and then operate the brake, you should see the brake lights come on. I've set up a mirror, so hopefully you can see that there. And those brake lights are on top of whatever lights you've got on otherwise. So if I put us into this mode, we've got the tail lights on, and you should see the brightness ramp up when I put the tail lights on. The controller is designed to work with the Spektrum Smart ESC and Smart Receiver, which means it's using telemetry data from the ESC to know reliably when we're braking, so we can tell the difference between braking and reversing. When the car is moving, the function of the A button changes. I can set up any of the channels to do what I call flash, which means that when you're moving, they come on for as long as you're holding the A button. So I've got the floodlights set up to do that at the moment. If I start moving, I can flash the floodlights with the A button. And again, that's on top of whatever other mode I've got. So if I've got the lights on like that, A button works like that. So everything is highly configurable. It's got a built-in menu system to allow you to change what the three different channels do. So we get to that by holding down the A button until we see a second flash after about 3 seconds. There it is. Okay, first flash means we're on option 1 in the menu. Option 1 is always quit, so if I were to select that, I'd come back out of the menu. The next three menu options control the brightnesses of the different channels. So the first one there, floodlights. Next one, headlights. Next one, tail lights. And there's two more menu options, which I'll just skip over. And we're now back to the beginning. So I'll come back to those two menu options in a moment. What I'll do now is I'll go into the settings for the floodlights. So to get into this, I press and hold. First option is quit, let's not do that. And then there's 4 different brightness settings I can operate. So the first one is what it does in mode 1, which is off. The next one is what it does in mode 2, on. The next one is what it does when you're braking. These are the front lights, so they don't do anything, but I could make them do that if I wanted to. And option 4 is what they do when I hold down the A button when we're moving, the flash mode. So let's go back to the first one. So the first is quit. Next one is mode 1. Let's go into mode 1. So press and hold to get into mode 1. And what they do now is I can control the brightness of this using the AVC knob. So if I turn it all the way down, they go off. Turn it all the way up, and it comes on. So what I'll do now is I'll have them so that they now come on dimly when they're in mode 1 rather than being off. So if I'm happy with that, press and hold. Now you can back out of the menu using the quit options, or you can just apply the power and it automatically comes out of the menu. So let's just see if that's worked. Stick it into mode 1, and yes, the floodlights now come on at low brightness in mode 1. Mode 2, brighter as before. Okay, so let's have a quick look at some of the other menu options. Press and hold to the second flash, 1, 2, and that's menu option 1. So we'll skip over the brightness settings, flood settings, headlight settings, tail light settings, and now the next one. Now what this does, let's go into this, you'll see the light start flashing, is it allows us to control the fade that's applied when the lights come on and off. So if I turn the AVC knob all the way down, the lights just flash straight on, straight off, like you expect LEDs to do. If I turn it up a bit, I turn it up all the way and make it obvious, you see they now fade on and off quite slowly. Now that's probably a bit much. Somewhere in the middle, and you can get quite a nice effect that there's a sort of soft on, soft off when the lights change level, which makes them look a bit more like traditional incandescent bulbs rather than LEDs. I think actually that gives a very nice effect for the light flash and when the brake lights are coming on. You'll see the lights are getting out of sync. That's just a minor programming issue I need to sort out. Anyway, let's save that. The final menu option, let's move to that, controls whether the handbrake button turns the brake lights on and off. Obviously on a real car, typically the handbrake button doesn't control the handbrake lever doesn't control brake lights, but we can set it up so it does if we want. So I've gone into the menu, the lights are off, which means no. Lights are now on, which means yes. Press and hold to save. And we'll just come out of the menu. And you can now see when I'm pressing the handbrake button, the brake lights also come on. They also still come on when I brake the normal way. So one final thing, we've got the telemetry data from the ESC, we may as well do something with it. So the car can actually read out the current voltage of the battery using the lights. If I press and hold until we just see the first flash, it'll read out the current battery voltage. So I'll just do that now. One flash. 1, 2, 3, 3, 7, 5. So that battery voltage is currently 3.75. But the other thing you might want to know is what's the battery voltage dropping to when you're on full power. So when I press the next button again, it's going to show me the lowest voltage that the ESC has seen since it was last reset. So let's do that now. 3, that's good. 4, nothing. So the battery voltage has dropped to 3.4 volts whilst I've been under power. So that's interesting to know if you want to know how close you're getting to the low voltage cutout. I should note that this is using the standard voltage measurement from the ESC. It's not reliant on having Spektrum Smart batteries, which I don't. And it's the average voltage per cell, so it doesn't have any information about individual cells. It's just taking the total voltage and dividing it. So what I'll do now is I'll pop the lid off and show you how it's wired up inside. With the body off, you can see the controller mounted here between the front body posts. The flashing green LED on top tells that it's receiving control data from the receiver and that it's happy. On the right hand side we've got the wiring. There's 3 pairs of wires for the 3 lighting channels, and then the whole thing is powered and controlled by this single servo cable running to the receiver box, which is wired into the throttle channel on a simple splitter cable. One of the nice things about using the Spektrum Smart ESC and Smart Receiver is that we can get all the data that we're interested in on this single wire. So we get information from all the RC channels and the telemetry data from the ESC, all given to us on that single wire. The whole thing was pretty inexpensive to make. It's based on a Raspberry Pi Pico microcontroller, which cost me all of £3.60 here in the UK, so that's probably less than $5 US. And the remaining components, which is just a handful of transistors and a voltage regulator, and the prototyping board, were probably no more than $5 to $10 again. So overall pretty inexpensive. I'm very happy to share the schematics for the electronics and indeed the source code for the software that I've written that runs on the controller. So if you're interested, please do leave me a comment below. And that's pretty much it. I hope you found this interesting, and thanks for watching.